I would return the money. I mean, if you gave 15 million to each company, and that's 30 million, 30 divided by 120 counties is $330,000. If he's proving that those things don't work because the site isn't a good site, or they won't divulge their investors or their silent partners, or they can't get money from the feds as a loan, and they never come through, and he wants you to forget that 1 or 2 years later, and focusing on this new company that he's trying to get for Meade County in Brandenburg, south of Louisville. He's just like any magician, politician. They want you to focus in on the right hand, but took the left hand and used your back pocket and let these companies take his time and our money from your treasury, and I think it clearly isn't working as a business model, because they control the cards, and we win, but we may win the bid against other states, but we lose because it may never come to pass, or they get so many tax breaks for 10 years after it's built that we don't really benefit until year 11 or so, or 15. And so my feeling is, return that $330,000 to each county. Let them have the money.
I'm just thinking out loud here.
A one-man show to making a two-man show, or a two-man truck. I mean, start small, because you always go from small to big. You never want to bring in outsiders to change your culture.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just thinking
everything's a Toyota waiting out there. They think that every aluminum plant is the next Toyota.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the money. You said $30 million is what he spent to try to get them, and they didn't come?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so right. I don't know how much of that he actually spent. Lack of transparency is here, but $30 million was promised to them. So how much of that did they actually receive is the unknown. But I say 119 counties would never. They had 330,000 in their treasury in each county, but they say, okay, and Devin says, now send it over here to Ashland. They go, hell no. We keep our own money. But once you send it to the treasury under state income tax, it becomes Devin and the small group of people's economic development money to spend on one county, and it gives the other counties, all the 119 counties, a share.
I've had so many great ideas, and I feel like I'm just ballpark figure maybe 10,000 away from being able to start, my first business, my Mediterranean Avenue, and then build up from there. So $30 million, let's say 50,000. If you're just to award entrepreneurs 50,000 for, good ideas, how many Kentuckians could you have empowered? How many small businesses could you have created? And then that's creating jobs too.
I mean, just have a hotline of being able to call in your idea and preserving ideas and rewarding people once a month to the best idea for the month. I mean, you want to harvest ideas of all Kentuckians, not just my idea.
Right. And then,
I mean, everybody has great ideas. They don't know how to move them forward to help their community or whatever. And so, what I did for the Harold Leader Building and the Jefferson Street Bridge and making sure the 1% homeless tax didn't go through in 2014. Those are all things that I was doing not only for myself, but for landlord friends and to lid on Jim Gray, who was trying to throw his liberalism around.
Yeah. The 50,000 jobs is all Matt Bevin has bragged about creating. He's been in there for 4 years. 50,000 just sounds so small.
I don't see. And my question is, what percent of that is due to the Trump economy and the lower tax rate?
Right.
21%.
How much of that is just the economy just doing it on its own? So that's.
He did pass right to work.
Right.
The legislature did pass union busting right to work law. That's good. I had a big hand on passing the dog bite bill, where landlords are not responsible for tenants' liability for vicious dogs. I had a big hand in that. 16. So there's it's paid to do a job in commercial substance, but all of which you got paid for, none of which I get paid for. I just did it because it's the right thing to do.
It's 4 million people there. There's 4 million people in Kentucky. So that, you know, maybe half of them are kids and retirees or something, but that's 2 million people need jobs. Only 50,000 jobs. Only 50, and then that's probably not even true. So he's inflating.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very well said.
Thank you. You also want to cap campaign spending on Kentucky governor's race to $100,000?
I'd like to. That doesn't appear to be much of an issue now. I mean, I'm getting to 50 to 100, depending on what I see as chance I'm going to have. You know, I'd like to come in second. I mean, obviously I know that the chance of me coming in first is slim to none, but I'd like to be go for it and be a player for 4 years from now.
Would you be in favor of public finance elections?
No.
You put a cryptic sentence on your Facebook. If you could just explain to me what you meant. It said that Lexington was one of the safest cities in the U.S., and you said, well, tell that to the 28 Lexingtonians who were killed by handguns, and then the 72 that were killed by fentanyl. So are you saying that you want regulation of handguns or fentanyl?
No, I'm saying that tell that to the 100 people that are laying 6 feet underneath Civil War statues that we're the third largest city in the United States. Tell that to the 100
right.
people who are dead.
I got you. You mentioned also civil.
It has everything to do with kids being able to get hold of these people. And I'm saying nothing about the right. Of course, I'm for Second Amendment.
Yeah, me too. So that's how big of a progression. Yeah, no, the Second Amendment is.
Others that are letting their juvenile kids walk out, join gangs, and get into that related situation. I just think it's silly. It's silly to be part of right to life and only care about
kids,
a fertilized egg, and not care about all the other murders. If you're into right to life, or you're really into anti-abortion.
Yeah, that's
right to life should be more anti-abortion than right to life, because everybody's entitled to right to life.
It sounds more like they're pro-birth. So it's like you're born, but then once you're here, you're on your own.
Oh, we don't care about you. Yeah. You're a great guy when you're dating my daughter, but then you're a schmuck with your husband.
No, I see that all the time. There's just a ton of, I don't know. How many people die? There was a homeless guy that died in Gallatin County because he froze to death, and that's stuck with me for a while. There's some cop shootings. There was Samantha Ramsey got shot in Boone County, and it's just crazy. We're supposed to, they care so much about life, but then when it comes to life of, living, breathing adults, it just seems like,
I mean, we live behind gated in our private cars, in our private homes, in our gated world, church and everything, but when we do things through nonprofits, we pat ourselves on the back, but we don't do things individually that show our true colors. And I don't have any problem showing my true colors because I'm 63 years old and I don't have to worry about what my kids think and what my wife thinks.
Where were you born? You said you moved to Lexington, Kentucky when you were 2?
I'm born in Philly.
I gotcha. That's cool.
My mother's a hanger. I'm a big believer. You'll hear radio ads say that we have a 200-year institution, a company called the Mason Hanger Company.
Yeah.
Out of Richmond. They built the Grand Coulee Dam and the Lincoln Tunnel, among other things. And why can't we give $330,000 or now $630,000 in Meade County? The $45 million were given to Meade County Company, Nucor. That's $75 million. Well, that's $630,000 per county.
Right.
Actually, more to Fayette County and less to Elliott County or some other county. But on average, $630,000 per county. Come back to those counties and give it entrepreneurially to start up businesses.
Yeah.
One-man shows, it's making a two-man show.
These
four-man truck to a six-man truck.
Right. I got just
small. 87% of our taxes come from one to one employee businesses.
yeah.
Not large companies.
Oh, so small businesses.
He's a very good speaker, and people don't want to argue with him on stuff that's hard to prove. 50,000 jobs is hard to prove or not to prove.
Yeah, he could. Well, it sounds like this. I'd love to see the math behind the 50,000 jobs.
Yeah, I mean, he's done good. He's a good person, and I just think I'm one better. I'm not. He knows that I'm a big fan of his. He's a father of 10, and all the good he's done. I just, number 2 is meeting number 1 in the Sundays, and he knows that. I have a resume that's one better, and if there's any advertising, it's probably to knock me down and make sure I don't come up any further, and because he knows that Goforth is more of a Democrat than a Republican.
The
has no plans, and I at least have some ideas.
Well,
You're not a Goforth man, are you?
No, I only know who Goforth is.
That's all I mean. He's a Goforth man, are you?
No, I have no idea. You said he was a dick, so that's the only thing I know about.
He's really different. He's from London. He's just really 84 years old. He's just really different.
Well, when it comes to politics, I think it's fair to criticize on policy. I think policy that's the whole shebang. Policy is everything. So your personality and your leadership style, I think it plays into how you can get policy enacted. So when it comes to criticizing policy, if people are trying to say you don't like Bevin because you criticize his policies, maybe mention here's a policy I liked. I like the carry concealed thing. I like the heartbeat bill. I like some of his policies, but these are policies.
I think they know that. Bevin knows that, and Bevin people know that. And I've spoken to the faithful throughout Kentucky. What a fan I am of Governor Bevin.
Well,
most of his policies.
I guess I'm just saying, don't shy away from criticizing policy, because that's the whole game. That's every bit of it. So if you,
I mean, I know I'm critical of the minority of his stuff. Once again, I give him a B+, and I just think I have an A resume. And that's how I say it. I think he's a B+, A- governor, and I think I'm just a one better resume that I want to have a shot at it too. Put him back in. If he's our nominee, he could lose the vote in November, and all this is for naught. We lose governorship to Andy Beshear and his stronghold on teachers vote, possibly, then Bevin will lose his 8-point lead that he got 4 years ago and lose by a thin margin. If I win, being a former teacher and being the oldest of the group, what that is, give me a shot, and I guarantee you, Bevin, if I upset Bevin, I guarantee you Matt Bevin will back me 100% those that I've backed him the past 4 years.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you all get along. I got like 8 questions here just to validate basically what I've read before, so it's, yes or no, or, just a short little explanation.
You're calling as an individual, not as a journalist?
I am not. No, I'm just a political science major, and I'm real curious about it. I'll probably write something up on.
How old are you, and what do you do?
I am 37 years old. Currently, I haven't been doing much of anything. I've had a bunch of jobs. I'm college educated, so I'm in Colorado. I'm in a rural area, so I don't know. I don't have I don't have anything to brag about right now, but I post on Facebook.
You've had a lot of experience with different jobs, is what you said.
I think I have a whole slate of different experiences, but I guess the job can't hold me, so I've had kind of crappy jobs, and I'm educated, so I feel like I want a good job that I enjoy, that I get satisfaction from, so I want something a little bit better, and yeah, it's been a rough journey for me too, so I'm kind of just reflecting.
Are you in Denver?
I'm in the San Luis Valley, so south central Colorado.
One second, let me turn on this up.
Probably about 3 hours south of Denver. I'm more close to the New Mexico border.
You're more close to what?
The New Mexico border.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
You read about Kentucky issues online or something?
Yeah, absolutely. Ballotpedia didn't even, I don't think they had much about you, which is unfortunate. I was frustrated with Ballotpedia.
Yeah, I've tried to cross every dot and T, but unfortunately I don't have a manager. I'm putting all my money not in a business manager, campaign manager. I put my money to radio and got to go on TV. Ballotpedia doesn't have the, it's my fault.
That would be awesome to get there's a lot I could be a professor with a political science degree. It sets me up for law school. I could probably work for the paper and, do some reporting.
Yeah, if you can get me on Ballotpedia,
They have a little,
or whatever.
I think it would actually be simple as heck. They have like a little link on there where it says we have a survey for the candidates. Get them to fill out the survey, and then they'll publish it.
I filled out everything else but that. I filled out, Vote Smart and everything else. If you go to Vote Smart, I just did that. I've done a number of surveys. I've done at least 10 surveys.
I read the one.
I just haven't done the Ballotpedia yet.
I read the one from the Kentuckians for the Commonwealth. That's the one I read of yours.
Oh, good. Well, thanks.
So,
what are your 7 questions?
Okay, no, it's just I just had the whole, I've been asking you all of them, but at the very okay. So you're against taking down Confederate monuments?
Of course.
Universal health care, you're opposed?
No. Opposed.
Marijuana, legalize it?
Recreational?
Yeah.
No.
Medical?
Yes.
You're for the death penalty for drug dealers?
Well, certainly for everybody who commits murders. And speedy trials.
Is that, I guess, the meth?
Drug dealers, anybody who murders, who facilitates the death for profit, or does it for somebody else. There shouldn't be a difference between a cop's wife and a cop, or your life and my wife. It's not a hate crime. It's a murder. Murder's murder.
Would you consider alcohol a drug?
Nope.
Did you say no?
No.
Okay.
I don't consider alcoholism a disease. I just consider it a weakness.
Okay.
Disease.
No, that's
like saying pornography is a disease.
Right.
Alcohol is not a disease. It's not a substance abuse. It's a liquid abuse. Instead, when they call alcohol substance abuse, it's because the therapist one and the physician one to tap into that medical code.
Yeah. You're
most alcohol. Do you think alcoholics after 1 or 2 AIs should be able to purchase alcohol or beer after a few AIs when you can't drive if you've had a DUI?
I believe in.
Why is buying alcohol right and not a privilege?
No, I mean I like Colorado. I'll be honest. I'm not too much of a drinker, but I do like marijuana. So
that's fine, and it's legal there. It's just not legal here. And they want to expand gambling because it's on our borders in Indiana.
Right.
For that, because they're looking at purely, they're not looking at the social cost and the net, the low net cost. They're just looking at the gross, and the fact that it's available across the border. Well, we're not losing much across the border.
Belterra was right across Gallatin County where I was raised.
Sure, and back to alcoholism. Do you think alcoholics and people who have AIs and multiple AIs and DUIs can't lose their right to buy alcohol for a few months?
You think they should?
Yeah, I don't think it's a right to buy alcohol any more than a felon that has a right to vote.
Okay,
well,
right.
The right to vote is a much more sacred right. And you take that away, you take driver's license away. Well,
right.
Why don't we take away their right to purchase if they have a 2-time AI, or 1 AI, 1 DUI on their record? Why can't we take their right to buy alcohol for 6 months?
Right.
Is that solve the problem?
No, the felon thing, you actually brought that up. You are actually in favor of giving them back their voting rights after their full sentence, after parole, after probation.
After full sentences, but most full sentences are never satisfied. After their full sentence, but they still have to apply for it.
I like the distinction, man. I was impressed with it because I guess Bernie Sanders said that he was for giving prisoners right to vote, and I could see both ways. I could see if you committed a crime, like, why should we allow you to, vote? You're, James.
Vote from prison, much less you're given the right to parole and reduce your sentence down, but your sentence isn't really finished. And so you should be able to apply for it after the full sentence is finished after 20 years, even though you've been out for 60 years on probation or parole, and you've been a good citizen. Well, still have to finish your sentence.
Yeah. No, I like that. I thought what you said was fair. So James Holmes, he killed all those kids. The Aurora shooter in Colorado. The Batman shooter.
A felony is huge. It's rape, it's murder, it's manslaughter.
You said he took away their right to vote, the right to breathe, right to drink, right to do anything, right? So why should we give them the right to vote if they took the rights of somebody else away?
Exactly. There you go.
Let's see, charter schools, you said they're failing and are a bad idea?
Yeah, failing. Google that. They're not as successful as they once started out to be.
I'm just trying to pin down your specific policy points. So
I don't think charter schools. We got 8 other schools to pick from.
They take away from the general public schools too.
They do. And plus you can get financial aid at Christian and Catholic and private schools, military schools.
You said you wanted more discipline in the home. That's something that's hurting public schools.
Yep. Like a father at home, like a discipline.
Then you also last question. I feel like I'm wearing you out here. I'm getting you a little tired. But you posted that 1/3 of U.S. troops had died in the first 3 months of '68 in Vietnam. So I was kind of curious.
17,000 out of 58,000 died in the Tet Offensive.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. So, yeah.
17,000 is 1/3 of 58.
Right. So,
9-month period, 1/3 of them, 16-year war.
Well, I guess I was kind of curious, like, that's not really saying any policy points, it's just saying, the Tet Offensive was really bad.
I just weighed in on, this is, last year was 50th anniversary of the Tet Offensive, and it goes unnoticed because it wasn't a one-day event, and we lost 1/3 of our guys who were trying to mimic their fathers from World War II, and not realizing the difference in the two wars.
What are your thoughts on Vietnam, I guess, is sort of what I was leading to.
It's a sad chapter in our history. At least 58,000 young men who went in there, bright-eyed to put it away, and like their fathers did, and grew up as macho kids, and either got drafted, got a bad lottery pick for 2 years there, or just signed up because they weren't in college, and didn't come home.
So are you on the side where we should have stayed in Vietnam longer so we could have won it, or it was under?
No, I'm glad we got out. We just should have gotten out sooner when Tet occurred. I mean, so 59 to 68. I didn't think that 68 was the defining year of not only Tet, but the Democratic protest conventions, and all the upheaval in '68, and the death of Martin Luther King and Kennedy. I mean, that was a terrible year.
Yeah, it was. And then the Democrats, they picked Hubert Humphrey. So RFK got killed, Martin Luther King got killed, and then they picked Hubert Humphrey to run.
Right.
So that's...
So it was Nixon's to win, and he did win, and then got reelected. Martin started shortly after he got reelected. So it was winding down by '73. One thing that helped, 71, Nixon started that ping-pong diplomacy with China.
Yeah.
Get China to quit backing up North Vietnam and use ping-pong diplomacy like an Olympics to bridge the gap of distrust and everything. And so it was a terrible war. I mean, I just missed it myself. I didn't turn 18 until 70.
Yeah, no, how many, we've only lost, like, the War of 1812, I guess, was a tie, but we started it and didn't get Canada. Somalia, Bill Clinton, they started to go into Somalia, and then he pulled out. So I feel like it's, I don't know, it's not, I like to win, but those are examples of us losing wars, and so I feel like...
Once you get into political consulting or run for something, or as campaign manager?
You're saying I should do that?
Yeah, why don't you do a few things for me?
Do you have a campaign manager?
A few things for me.
If
your resume.
I'll send.
Get me on Wikipedia.
I'll send you something. Yeah, Wikipedia. I know how to code. You gotta know the code language for Wikipedia. I've written a couple Wikipedia articles.
That's just a thought. I mean, you say you're representing news, and sound like you're the only person that's called me to ask me all these good questions.
Yeah,
as an independent person, any other questions I get are from paid people.
Yeah. Well, I'll shoot you a little message on Facebook, and I guess we'll play it by ear after that, because it's a good opportunity. But
full name again?
My name's Jonathan Masters.
And have you called everybody else like you called me?
You're the first one that I've called, but I've got 7 more candidates to ring them. And
you don't want to waste your time. I wouldn't waste your time with Woods or Young.
I want to see if they're willing to talk to average folks. I feel like that's a really big part of it, because if it's like,
you know what that answer is. You're not going to get hold of people who think way too much of themselves. That's why they're not going to waste your time with Woods and Young.
I'll give them a chance. I'll give them a chance until they tell me no. But you're the one that's offering me a job too, so that's definitely something.
I'm just straight with you. You only have so much time. Why don't you do a few things for me? I wouldn't waste your time on trying to get hold of Devin and Bashir and Atkins to return your call.
Well, if they don't, then I can, kind of hate on them. So until I have a reason, I guess, for me not to like them, I'd like to give them, the same chance as everybody else.
Yeah. Well, Devin wouldn't waste your time and go for it, like talk to you, but asking me policy decisions on how he's going to fix anything, I don't answer anything.
Yeah, well, then that means they're not in touch with the common man, and most politicians are crappy, and that makes him elitist and stuck up, and
he's just a union man who's all about trying to win votes and not fix problems. He's just more into to change his title from state representative to be he really thinks he has a shot at governor, and he doesn't. I do. I have very little shot of upsetting a sitting governor. But because I have two opponents.
I was pretty shocked by, actually, there's a February poll that had Bashir up by 57%, and then the rest were like 10 or 15%. So, I know Bashir, and he was, there's some things I liked and some things I don't like, but I don't remember him being so dynamic that half the Kentuckians.
Speaker, I'll tell you what it is. He's in office. He's sued on behalf of the teachers, and the sewer, which is a big thing for the Democratic Party. Sue.
Yeah.
And he has that ability to do so, whereas most don't. And somebody else is gone. And he's 0 for 3. He won the first 11 against Devin. He's lost the last 3 or 4. So it's a mixed bag, depending on the issue. But he's got the name recognition. Quite frankly, both of them are damn good speakers.
Okay.
And without notes. And that's propelled them. The policies are a tad suspect. They both follow the party line.
I wasn't impressed.
They're good at speaking before they're faithful, so that's why they're popular within their party.
I wasn't impressed with Bashir's speaking ability. Really, I think it's his name. His daddy was governor for 8 years before, right before, Bevin. And then the other thing is he's got $2 million war chest. So I guess when you have that much money, you could just put a bunch of TV ads. That's the media sort of.
Are you speaking of Bashir or Eastland? Eastland has a $2 million war chest.
They both do. I think one's like 1.8 and one's 2.1, something like that.
Yeah. Well, Eastland's, of course, is from Holland's wife.
He's from what?
Gil Holland's wife, who's a Brown of Louisville.
Oh, okay. I don't know much.
That's 1.5 of Eastland.